A fierce rematch is set to headline UFC 299 in Miami as the bona fide superstar Sugar Sean O'Malley defends his bantamweight title against Marlon Chito Vera. Welcome to UFC Breakdown, and here for the preview, as always, is the General Sayif Saud out of Fortis MMA. All right, Sean O'Malley, the stars don't come much bigger than him. He got that title in impressive fashion over Aljamain Sterling last summer. He defends it against the only man that beat him in Chito Vera. Should be a great fight.
You said it, Brennan. There's some bad blood going into this one. These guys have fought once before. Cheeto did end up getting the victory. Some controversy there. There was an injury. We will go over that fight. But let's start with the star, Sugar Sean O'Malley, the newly minted bantamweight champion. This guy's one of the most dynamic strikers we've seen in the UFC. He's got power in both hands. He's so quick and agile, so athletic. He's got incredible movement. He fights ambidextrously, always setting traps for his opponents. Also, he's shown a really improved ground game. His guys are trying to take him down. He stayed upright against Aljo, got the job done. Now he's the champ. He takes on the only man to beat him, Chito Vera. Chito feels like he can beat O'Malley. He's done it once before. He's a very balanced striker, got power in both hands as well, nasty in the clinch, really mean with elbows and knees, also really, really good at ground and pound from top position. He ties that all in with an incredible pace. This guy gets better and better as the fight goes on. Really interested in seeing if O'Malley can have his first title defense, get that win back, or if Chito Vera walks out of Miami the new bantamweight champion of the world.
Some may call it denial. Others may call it O'Malley kind of just trying to ruffle some feathers. If you ask him, he's still undefeated in this loss.
Yeah.
Doesn't count. Let's go into Fight Focus, and we'll go into what happened at the UFC Apex back in 2020 and kind of the controversial. It wasn't really controversial. It was an injury, though, that led to the end for O'Malley, and that's the one blemish on his record.
You're right. The film's going to say a lot. Let's talk about this. Was 4 years ago, so a lot has changed, but we're just going to start right here. This is the very beginning of the fight, and you're going to see here the leg kicks were a big factor, but I want you to watch right away. We see O'Malley, he's in the center, right? We see this one leg kick that slaps right here on the inside thigh. This is the only leg kick that lands before we get to the next part we'll talk about. But look at O'Malley. He's owning the center, right? He's throwing kicks, really hard leg kick here, knocks Cheeto off balance. He's moving a lot, switching stances, what we're accustomed to seeing, throws a hard front kick there. He's trying to own the middle, really being aggressive here. So that's the beginning of the fight. Let's stop it right there, because this is shortly thereafter. All right, so the fight's going on. This is the first round, and here we see, we're going to watch O'Malley's foot right here. We're also going to see his leg. I want you to pay attention to that. And Marlon Vera is going to throw a leg kick. He's going to turn it over. It's going to be a good leg kick, but something really interesting is going to happen here, and we're going to break this down. I want you to watch O'Malley's knee here. And as this kick comes in motion, you're going to see him flex forward first, okay? He flexes forward, getting ready to check the kick if it's going to the calf. You can see the quads are flexed, right? But he changes his mind there and tries to get out of the way. And when he tries to kind of pull out of the way, he starts to back up, and he ends up getting hit right here. Well, this is the peroneal nerve right here, okay? And it wraps kind of behind the knee. And there's some stuff here. And what this does, it controls the motor function in your feet, right? And after this kick landed, it didn't look like much, but we're going to watch how this unfolds, and it's pretty obvious what happens here. So we see O'Malley take the kick. Now he's going to back up, right? Now, okay, looks fine here. We're going to highlight this for our audience at home. We're just going to watch it. So one kick landed, only that one kick. We're going to watch O'Malley as he starts to plant with this foot and kind of see what happens here. Watch his foot. Okay, it's a little squirrely here. Watch that. Let's go back. Look at that toe right there. That's real strange movement right there, right? Almost like, hey, I'm not really connected to my foot. And this is exactly why you throw this kick. It doesn't always have this effect, but it does here. And we're going to watch that foot. O'Malley's thinking right now in his head, like, all right, something's not quite right. Let's keep watching. He's not moving that foot. He was moving all over the place. He had all kinds of movement going on. And then there we see that, right? And when we look at this and we see this, this happens right after the kick, right? 3 times in a row. So O'Malley said he just rolled his ankle, but it does really seem like that kick hit the peroneal nerve, and Cheeto causes that damage. And you see Vera here is going to stare at him like, what's up? You know, something's going on. And O'Malley tries to figure it out. He's kind of trying to play possum, be cool. But we see O'Malley just stays against the fence the whole rest of the time. He's not moving in the middle, and the whole fight changes right here on that kick. And now I want you to watch this again. Watch O'Malley's foot. Right, again, it's his right foot. We see O'Malley try to come forward. We know he likes to fight both stances. And again, we see this weird, funky movement, right? Like he's not completely in control, and he's going to fall again. And here, Cheeto's going to circle. And right here, we see Jason Perillo. He tells him, hey, man, something funky's going on with that leg. And and Vera looks at him. They kind of have a conversation. Vera stays really patient here. You know, you can just see him kind of thinking, okay, how do I finish this fight? How do I use this to my advantage? And look at O'Malley. He's going to back straight up, right? I mean, the body language says everything. Look at the way he's on that foot. He's just trying to figure out, man, what am I going to do here? And credit to O'Malley, man. He tries to stay calm. You know, I mean, he's trying to figure it out. He's skating around the cage, and Vera's being patient. So now we see Vera. Here's another hard leg kick, but I want to make note that this was on the left leg and the injury was on the right leg. He hits him with this leg kick too, but O'Malley seems to be fine with that. O'Malley's still in the fight. He tries to come forward. Again, you see that leg do that kind of weird little flipper move. And I think at this point, Cheeto knows that maybe he's not going to be able to come back from that. Maybe this is going to be the end of the fight because he doesn't seem to be recovering. We're going to watch O'Malley. He's going to go one more flurry, give it one more try, and Cheeto covers up. And watch when O'Malley backs up here. We're going to watch the right foot again when he goes to plant. Watch the foot. Let's keep an eye on that right foot again. Watch what happens. It buckles and he's on the ground. And we're going to talk about this later. Vera is a monster from top position. And I mean, he puts some huge elbows here on O'Malley. Hurts him, finishes the fight. A lot of controversy here. O'Malley would go on to talk about, you know, he rolled his ankle. That it wasn't Cheeto. But when you look at the video, Cheeto did land the kick and it really seemed to affect him. So a lot of bad blood here. Kind of a funky ending, but Vera got the victory.
As you mentioned, more than 4 years ago. So Sean O'Malley has had the time to rebuild himself and notch some impressive victories, which he has certainly done. And when you start with Sean O'Malley, you got to start with the striking.
He's the champ for a reason, right? We talked about his dynamic striking. This guy's got speed, power, and accuracy in both hands and both feet. He fights ambidextrously, so seamlessly, always going to orthodox and southpaw, confusing his opponents and using his range here. O'Malley's got a 72-inch reach, right? He's going to have the reach advantage here against Cheeto, and he has it against almost everybody. So here we see him against Petr Yan, and I just want you to watch how long he can fight. He's going to flash the jab here, right? And he's going to use that to kind of back Yan up. And he's always keeping guys at the end of his range. So he flashes the jab, and we're just going to watch this nice long right hand to follow, right? We see Yan, he's trying to kind of get out of the way, trying to parry, but it lands clean. But I want you to watch how O'Malley resets everything with his offense. So O'Malley throws that punch from the orthodox stance, but when he's done, he's going to step up right into the southpaw. So what he does is he throws that right hand and then he steps up in the southpaw, keeping the distance. Now he's going to use this rear front kick. He uses it over and over again to reset the distance. So Yan gets hit, goes back, goes to counter, but there's that front kick keeping the distance. And we're going to see O'Malley back up again, and I'll watch him flash another 1-2 when Yan tries to come in. Boom, boom, and then he's out. So O'Malley's always trying to keep guys at the end of his range, which is really intelligent. He's got the reach advantage. He's got long legs as well. So we see him doing that against Petr Yan, trying to get him frustrated, landing the 1-2. And we're going to watch how he did that. He's going to throw the first jab. Yan sees that. He starts backing up. But watch this half beat right here. Watch this half beat jab. The second little jab, right? The second little push. That little delay that throws Yan's timing off. And with that little delay, watch Yan. Yan's going to try to peek and kind of parry here. He's trying to look for it, but he's just a little bit off. And we see how long O'Malley is, how long he can be in this, and how accurate he can be from distance. Lands the strike perfectly, gets Yan off balance. Now, he's got Yan reacting with this jab, right? And we're just going to look at this little lead hand battle that these guys got going on, right? They've got a little lead hand battle, and you're going to see Yan. He's like, I don't want you to jab me. Get that hand out of here. So little feint from Sugar, and then he switches to southpaw. He's so good at changing the picture, right? He'll show one thing, and then he'll change the picture. Well, you see Yan react. Yan is in the middle of switching stances here, and we see he's kind of caught in this little parallel position, which is terrible. We see O'Malley is already set, right? He's already in a nice set stance. Always just a step ahead from these stance switches, and watch what O'Malley does. He creates this little angle on the southpaw, and he's going to fire this left hand long. And again, we show his ability to stay long, get out of danger. He gets out of danger here. His head is way over here. Yan's little check hook is here. He's got a full extension again on this punch. And beautiful work. This hurts Yan badly. This was a big moment in the fight, but watch this. After he does that, we see O'Malley, he steps up again In the orthodox, he constantly will fire from one side and step through to the other. And this is genius work because in doing that, he's always loading the power side. So now he's got his right hand right there. And look at the position he's in. He's behind Jan. He's got this hand. And look at Jan. He doesn't know what hit him. He's trying to figure out what. I thought he was southpaw. He's orthodox. I just got hit by the left hand. And we're going to see O'Malley start to add on and then get that range again and that distance. And look at, again, Jan. He's just not in a position because of the foot switch. He's backing up. And we're going to see one more big overhand here by O'Malley. Boom, kind of clubs him. And we see Jan just off balance. And again, watch this lane that he uses his footwork on, O'Malley, to follow. Look at the lane. He's right there, always in that nice angle, right, to catch the right hand or the left hand. And if you stand in front of O'Malley, he can just drop you. One shot, bang, done. And we're going to look at Eddie Wineland here, stayed in front of him. And watch this little flash right here. O'Malley will always put something in front of it, just like he did with that little jab, to get guys to react. And we're going to see Eddie Wineland. He's watching this. He's looking at it, trying to make a reaction. This little pump jab. He pumps this jab out, right? And we see Wineland get a little bit of movement with the hand, and then the right hand just comes over, just like a whip. And you see Wineland trying to pull out, but I mean, he just gets hit right on the chin. You can't stand in front of O'Malley. He's got the ability to touch you. He's got power in that right hand and that left hand. Takes Eddie Wineland out just like that. And finally, here's the big moment for Sugar Sean O'Malley. And this is kind of a culmination of everything that we've been talking about. He sets everything up with his movement and his footwork. So here he is. He's southpaw. He's in front of Aljo's power side, right? And Aljo, we did this breakdown. Go check it out. Aljo's very good at closing the distance, switching the stances. So we see O'Malley's going this way, and he understands he's going into the power. So watch this. He's going to give a little juke. He gives just a little bit of a juke right here, and then he switches. Now he extends his hand all the way out to get that distance going again. And he's creating that angle now going away. So he's got Aljo kind of trying to find him, right? Aljo thought he was going one way. Now he's got to make the adjustment going the other way. And we're going to see, we talked about how O'Malley likes to throw that kick to reset the middle, kind of get that distance. There's that front kick. Now there he goes again. Throws the front kick, gets some space. And here's my distance. Here's my range. I know right where I'm at, right? He gets guys getting desperate. He's going to create a beautiful little angle right here to the right. Ooh, here we go. Let's show this. Such an important point. Aljo, 1 inch shorter reach advantage, 71-inch reach advantage. Man, he needed that 1 inch right there, right? He comes just short, and we see Aljo's face is up, right? His chin is up. You know, he's exposing his chin. He's coming forward. He's really trying to reach O'Malley, but O'Malley's created just the right amount of distance, just the perfect amount of space to slide right back. And we're going to watch this right hand just buries Aljo. Perfect contact. I mean, this is just beautiful. And his ability to throw as he's backing up like that, really unique. He drops Aljo, hurts him. Aljo would survive for a little bit, but ultimately he would get finished, and O'Malley fulfills his prophecy, becoming the newly minted Bantamweight champion of the world.
Well, O'Malley has shown striking prowess and power with a lot of different techniques. Cheeto Vera, maybe no bantamweight, as decorated a fight finisher, and his striking has proven to be deadly.
Yeah, Cheeto is a very balanced striker, right? Nothing really crazy, flashy, anything like that, but he's got a very good jab. He works everything behind that, a very good front kick, very good leg kicks, right? And power in both hands as well. So he kind of breaks guys down slowly. And his first round's never his best round. I mean, he's well known for starting slow, but once he gets that jab going, he really kind of gets his offense going. So let's take a look here. Here he is against Pedro Munos, and this was a close fight. And like we said, the first round of Cheeto is always a little bit slow. He's always kind of making his reads, a little bit different. But you see him, he gets really square, right? I mean, look at his shoulders. He's very square, all right? And he does that because he loves using this jab right here. And we see Munos is at full extension here, and Cheeto's got a 70.5-inch reach. He is at a disadvantage in this fight, but he uses his reach really well. So we see him gauging Munos, and now we're just going to see him throw that jab and get his head out of the way, land his jab, right? And we see again Munos threw in that exact same spot, just a little bit short, but we see Cheeto's landed, okay? And this is how he starts to break guys' rhythm. So he gets guys guessing. I want you to look at this hand right here. So now Munos has gotten hit with that jab. He's starting to get busted up a little bit. and he's trying to play the hand game, right? And Vera's very good at playing the hand game. So we're going to watch Munos. He's going to try to knock that hand out of the way, but look at what Vera does. He takes it from here and moves it this way, and then he's going to jab, again, right to the eye. So we see Cheeto playing the hand game here with Munos, and Munos is trying to knock this hand down, kind of get it out of the way. And what Vera does is he brings it inside and then straight in, right? And watch how he executes this jab right to the eye here. He brings it in and then forwards. It's not something that you see, but because he's so square, he's very, very good at landing that jab. And he'll stay right in front of guys. He's not worried about getting hit. We know that. So once he gets that jab working, he starts getting guys to react. And we're going to look at the cause and effect here. So let's watch this. Let's watch the hands of Cheeto Vera here, okay? He's going to give a little wax on, wax off right here. He's just going to move his hand really, really quickly. And we're going to see Munos's hands are down, but he's watching the hands, right? Because we talked about the hand fighting. So we're going to do a little wax on, wax off right here. Let's watch Cheeto. He's literally going to move his hands all over the place. 1, 2, kind of like he's dancing. Now, when he does that, we see the reaction, all right? Boom, okay? I don't want to get hit with that jab. You're playing a game, you're starting to land. So that's exactly what Vera wants. So he's got Munos thinking about that jab. The hands are high. Now we're going to see exactly what you want. You want a high-low game. So Cheeto sees that he's reacting. He sees that he's focused up top. You look at Munos. I mean, he's locked in on that upper body. Now here comes Vera. He's going to flash that jab, right? He gets this jab working, right? Look at the reaction with the hands, okay? But this is the most important thing. Let's watch the leg of Munos, and we're going to break this down. As Munos backs up, look at his body language. His whole body's going backwards. He's so fixated on getting hit in the face, but he doesn't even move that leg. He's not even thinking about that leg. Meanwhile, Vera's already got that kick in motion. Okay, and this is similar to the kick that he hit O'Malley with. So it's important to look at the leg kicks. We know he's going to go for it. Again, similar to O'Malley, we see Munos kind of leaving his leg there, right? He's off balance. He was thinking all about the upper body, but he gets hit in the leg. And this is how Vera breaks guys down, starts chopping their legs out. And now finally, again, Munos is trying to figure out, okay, how do I get out of this puzzle? And we see Cheeto right here, he's in the southpaw stance, but he's always working to get that jab going. So watch what he does. He's going to do a little switch here. He steps back to the orthodox, and as he switches back to the orthodox, we're going to see Munos kind of get caught flat-footed. Munos was reacting. Every time he would switch, Munos would switch. So this game was going on. You never want to be stuck parallel in front of somebody because you can't really fire. And we're going to see Cheeto land a nice jab right here. Bang. Okay? And again, you look at the footwork here. There's not a whole lot to do here, right? But Munos is a dog, so Munos is going to step through and he's going to come back. So he drops that back foot. He's going to come with a big overhand right. Look at Cheeto. This is so slick. Cheeto's going to duck under the punch. And I want you to watch this right hook he's going to throw. Now from southpaw as he drops back. Bang. So what he did was he dropped back underneath and came over the top. Beautiful work, right? So he starts to get Munos to fall in. He's even got an answer for that. Then he's going to step back and get right out of the way of this big shot right here. So once Vera gets that jab going, he really starts disrupting guys. And we got to talk about this. We know O'Malley's got such good movement. We're going to get into that. And we see Rob Font, he's trying to exit here, okay? He's trying to move. We know Vera's a little bit far away from him, right? He's not quite in the distance to touch him, and Font knows that. So let's take a look at what Vera does here. So impressive, so smart. Vera's going to step through from this southpaw, and he's going to step up in the orthodox. Look at this move he just made. He just went from here to here. And now, because he is in the orthodox, he is going to cut Font off before Font can get to that spot. And this is how you cut off the cage. You can't just chase people around. So watch what he does. Now he's completely changed the picture. And Font is making the adjustment, but he's creeping in and he's getting that distance. He's cutting that distance off. And now he's going to use this left hook, right, to meet Font right in this space and stop his momentum. And this is exactly how you cut off the cage. Watch the hook. Bang. And let's look at where it lands. It lands right on the temple here, kind of right where the equilibrium is. And let's look at the result. Cuts off the cage and Font's stumbling, hits him in the temple, jacks up the equilibrium, and he's on the ground. So he will use movement, but he can also track guys down because we know O'Malley's going to be moving. Lastly, if you stand still against him, here he is against the great Dominic Cruz. And we see if you come forward, he'll even stand his ground and just pop this jab. He's got so much power in this jab that he can sit guys down. And he sits Dom down here with this powerful jab. And then guys got to start really being careful, right? Coming in and they start reacting. And once he gets them to react, again, we saw him with the kicks. So he starts walking forward again. He's got Dom reacting. And we're going to watch Cheeto. He's going to throw this lead hand just a little bit and get that motion, right? Here's that lead hand motion. And Dom is trying to kind of figure out what's going on and make his read. And we see Cheeto start moving already. And here it comes. Look at Dom. He kind of saw it. Credit to Dom. He saw it. And he's going to really try to move out of the way. This is a funky place to be. I mean, you see Dom really trying to reach out, but it's too late. Cheeto has tricked him with that little southpaw step, and this is going to land flush right in the face and drop Dominic Cruz. So, and this was late in the fight. We're going to talk about it. Cheeto keeps that power all the way through the fight. Not as flashy of a guy, but man, he's so good at the basics, and he really knows how to implement them.
Back to the flashy side, which would be Sean O'Malley. But it's the striking, it's how long he is. He's very athletic. He's very light on his feet. He is known for his movement, just like the former champ Dominic Cruz has always been.
You're so right. I mean, we're talking about this prolific offense is all predicated on this incredible movement, this ambidextrous movement, southpaw, orthodox, constantly changing the picture, right? And getting guys confused. And I mean, he doesn't settle. He stays really disciplined with that. So here we go with the Aljo fight. And this is the very beginning of the fight, but this is how he set up the knockdown, right? And then pretty ultimately ended the fight. We see Aljo. Aljo's very good at taking away the space to get close to wrestle. And we see the orthodox stance, and we see this is right in the beginning as Aljo steps in to try to step in and create space. Let's watch this angle that O'Malley takes right here. So again, he always causes guys to be stuck and trying to move. He's already now created a nice angle of attack, all by just doing this. He puts one foot back and he slides out just a little bit. I don't think I've ever seen anybody as good at creating an angle of attack as I have with Sean O'Malley. And as Aljo tries to take that space back, we're gonna see it again. Nope, now I'm back to orthodox. Aljo's way backed up again because he's trying to read the picture. And distance is what he wants so he can strike. So Aljo's gonna keep trying to come forward, and we're gonna see him come forward again. He's in the orthodox. Well, I'm gonna slide back out again, create that angle, and you see it again. He creates that angle away, and now Aljo's got to turn again and try to track him down. O'Malley's constantly creating a new angle. We're just gonna let this play. We know Aljo's trying to track him against the fence. Look at the discipline that O'Malley has with the footwork. Every time Aljo gets close, he switches, he circles out, right? And now he gets really close to the cage, and you see him. You see how aware he is. He doesn't even throw any strikes because he knows he doesn't want to be against the fence. Look at the footwork. Aljo finally frustrated with the big kick. He resets the middle. This is how he got Aljo to chase him forward and get a little excited, and we saw what happened. Here he's with Pedro Munos. He's standing orthodox here. He's going to move forward here. He's going to throw a 1-1-2. Pedro gets hit. Pedro says, all right, I got to circle away from the power. I've got to come this way. Makes sense. I got to get away. O'Malley is in the orthodox stance. Watch O'Malley and how he cuts off the cage. He sees the circling. He switches his feet, and instead of chasing orthodox, he just steps up southpaw. So now by stepping up southpaw, right, he completely changed the picture, and now his left hand is in front of Pedro Munos. Pedro Munos actually circled to the power now because of the switch, and you're gonna see him throw this left hand, kind of hit Munos, and then he goes back to the orthodox, always looking for the range for that big right hand. And you're gonna see him pump it right here. He pumps the jab, he thinks about it, but Munos gets so far back that O'Malley holds it. He says, all right. But look at Munos, he's constantly reacting, right? And it's all about that footwork. And here he is against Montano. This kid was so tough. He had an absolutely granite chin, but we see O'Malley just picking him apart with the jab and letting him walk in. But this is the thing I want people to see. This is exactly almost the same scenario as the knockdown and the finish of Aljo. We see him he's pulling Chris in. He pulls him in. Look at that little flash jab. As Chris comes in, he slides out of the way and watch his right hand. I mean, it almost looks exactly the same as the Aljo situation, right? He will pull guys in and slide just out of the way and cash that check right there when they come in the A zone. And this guy's just gotten such an unbelievable chin. He just walked through it, but this was the punch that put Aljo down. Such incredible dynamic movement from O'Malley. Orthodox, southpaw, a whole lot to keep track of. Something Vera's going to have to be ready for.
Well, back to the Cheeto side now, and with all that movement and all that range for Sean O'Malley, safe to say Cheeto might want to make it a bit ugly, get in close, clinch, knees, elbows.
No problem for him. This guy is nasty in the clinch, man. He throws elbows from so many different angles. He's an absolute dog, right? Devastating knees. He's very creative in close, and he knows that. He's good at the things he needs to be good at. That's how he got to this place. So, two warriors. This was a great fight between him and Davey Grant, right? A lot of respect for this guy. He's super tough. But as you just kind of watch a little bit of this bloodlust right here from Cheeto. Watch this. We see Davey Grant walk in, and Davey Grant's going to rip to the body. Davey Grant's always in wars, right? We see a beautiful front kick here. We talked about Cheeto's front kick, and we're going to get into that later on as well. Kind of try to extend the distance. But we see Davey Grant's like, I'm coming, man. And he's going to rip some body shots here. So body, right? Here comes the other one. But let's look at Cheeto. He just accepts it, right? Comes forward like, okay. And we're going to see how he uses this. He's really happy to get in a firefight. He does not mind at all. He's going to grab that head, right? And I just want you to watch this guy's eyes right here, okay? He's like, okay, I got your head. Watch him lock in right here. He locks in. Look at his eyes, man. I mean, he's like, I got you now. He locks in, and he's going to throw this elbow from this position. And this is such good work because he's so close, right? So nasty. And let's just watch this barrage. 1, 2, 3. I mean, he cuts Grant up bad, right? And we see Grant starting to bleed. You know, whenever guys go, hey, whatever, man, that means, hey, that hurt like hell. That's usually what that means. So he's got Grant cut up, and now we see him kind of walking down, and we talked about the hand game. So Grant tries to occupy one wrist, and he's trying to block that elbow. Look at that. He knows I'm bleeding bad on this side, so he puts his arm up to try to block it, and what Cheeto does is he grabs his wrist, right? And watch this. He's going to control the wrist off the break, and when Grant moves it, he's going to go right inside. Bang! Hit that same spot. So this is his way of creating these openings in close. He'll just walk in with the hands. He's so good at hitting these elbows in close. Does really maximum damage. Cuts are big. Damage is big here. So really good with the head position as well. And we're just going to let this play. Big knee, big elbows. And I mean, when he gets cracking like that, I mean, he is a monster against the fence. He breaks guys. Marlon Vera is going to have to close the distance in this fight. We know that. We know O'Malley's got fantastic movement. We know Vera's shorter than he is. We know he has less reach. And how can he do that? Well, Vera will do some really athletic things. Look at him here. He'll throw this jump knee, and he does this a lot. He'll try to fly in with big knees to close the distance and get guys off the fence. And once he's got Yule here, he just goes to town on him, and we see how devastating he can be in the clinch. Really good with the head position. I look for him to do this against O'Malley, really try to grind O'Malley against the cage in the early rounds, try to make him tired, try to make it dirty, try to make it ugly like we talked about, put big damage on the guy. He is a dog in this position, and I know O'Malley's going to be ready to try to get off the fence, and he's going to have to try to not take this big damage from Vera.
On a lengthy win streak for Cheeto Vera, he would give away early rounds, as we mentioned before. Yeah. And sometimes it wasn't just his striking. He would notch some submission victories later in the fight. He is well-versed in the grappling, probably doesn't get the credit for it that he deserves. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. He's an opportunistic guy. You know, if you give him the neck, he will go for submissions and he will get them. But really, he's really vicious from the top, the ground and pound. He's got such a good pace and such tremendous cardio. He really puts it on guys when he gets them on their back. So let's take a look at some of the stuff that Vera does here. Here we go. Yule gives him the head, ducks under. So Cheeto's like, all right, you want to give me the neck? I'm good with that. And we're going to see him run him all the way to the cage. He's kind of got the standing guillotine, which isn't really easy to finish. And we see Yule is in on the hands here. He's kind of cranking, but Yule is going to get out of this, not really be in a position to choke. This is very hard to stop, right? And we see Yule, he's on the wrist. And so watch this. And this is what I talk about opportunistic. So Cheeto's like, all right, I'm just going to get a little leg reap right here. He's going to let go of that choke. And now he's going to just push Ewell down to the mat. And once he gets him flat on the mat, he just goes to town. Look at these elbows. Look at these strikes. Look at the force, pushing the head back down. I mean, and the pace, the tempo, right? He's got the ref looking. I mean, the speed in which he drops ground and pound, elbows and punches, really ferocious. So here we go again. We see him against Hernandez. We talked about his ability to kind of leap in with those knees and cut distance. So here he comes against Hernandez, and here he goes with a big knee, and Hernandez actually shoots the shot on him. But let's watch Chito Vera just kind of sprawl and just land in this position, right? He lands right into that three-quarter mount and just goes to town. Big elbows, okay? Big shots. And Hernandez, I can't stay here. I got to turn around. And this is super impressive right here. So if you do turn around on him to not get hit with these big shots, this is the same position he beat Sean O'Malley in. I mean, we've got to talk about it. He goes for the neck right away, okay? He's attacking the neck. He only has one hook here. This leg is not even in, all right? With one hook, though, he's attacking the neck. And this is something that you don't always see from guys. They try to settle position first, but I like that. And we see that this hook is being blocked by Hernandez right here with the elbow, which is the right thing. But we're going to watch Chito Vera make the adjustment and get the finish. So right now, this is a short choke. He's got the gable grip. He's palm to palm. He only has one hook, so he can't get too much power down, right? Using his hamstrings and all this to kind of press down all the powers in the legs. We're going to see him make the adjustment here. Watch Chito Vera. He's bouncing on his head as well, right? The head is like an arm there, keeping the balance. And I want you to watch what he does with his grip and with his head. He's going to move his head just out of the way, just for a second. And when he moves his head out of the way, right there, he gets the hand underneath. He gets the full choke. One hook, he gets the finish. Cheeto's opportunistic, man. If you give him a chance, he'll go for your neck. If you go back to your back, he's going to hit you with so many elbows and punches, you're going to have to move.
Well, on the other side, if Sean O'Malley's grappling, he's probably not where he wants to be, but he showed against Aljamain Sterling his defensive ability to keep the fight where he wants. Perhaps that's all he needs in the grappling department.
I mean, he's pretty well versed, right? I mean, he showed he could stay upright against probably the best grappler we've seen at Bantamweight and Aljo. Now Aljo's moved on, but also he's got a very good offensive guard from his back. He trains with Tiquinho Mendez, one of the best guys in the world, and he's very offensive. He creates space and gets up, and we're going to take a look at that. He's not out of the water even if he hits the ground. So this is super impressive because here he's against Aljo, and look, Aljo's had more title, like him or not, he had more title defenses than anybody else in the division, okay? And this is how he did it. He would get guys under the fence. We talked about this in that breakdown. He uses that underhook. He drives his weight in. He's just so good at it. It's kind of unorthodox, but man, he's gotten all the best guys. And the fact that O'Malley was able to stay upright really speaks to his physicality too. Now he's coming into his own now as he's approaching 30 years old. And I want you to watch this leg. And what Aljo likes to do is he likes to step behind guys, right? He gets behind them, and then he gets that over-under. We talked about that, remember, with those really long arms? And once he tries to step behind O'Malley, watch what O'Malley does. O'Malley was ready for this, man. So he's got that overhook, and he keeps that overhook really tight. And here comes Aljo. He's going to step behind, and as he goes to step behind, we see the leg get raised here by O'Malley, blocking that, keeping this whizzer very, very tight, okay? And O'Malley's like, oh, no, you're not going to get behind me. But it's what he does afterwards that's even more impressive. He doesn't stay here. He's going to let go of this whizzer, okay? And once he lets go of this whizzer, we're going to see him go right to the head, right? And he's ripping the head. So he lets go of the whizzer fast, goes to the head to turn Aljo, but also it's that wrist control. So he controlled that one wrist, doesn't allow him to connect the hands. He's turning off the fence, but he's fighting the great Aljo. Aljo's still in on that leg. So it's not over. And this just shows you the physicality and the strength. O'Malley just gets out, right? Pulls his leg out, limp legs out. And the awareness of O'Malley here is championship awareness. He knows he doesn't want to be here. He eats one shot. Look at him. I mean, he's not even throwing punches. He knows he has to reset the middle. So good fight IQ there from O'Malley to get back in the middle. Here he's against Peter Yan. This made this fight very close. We got to talk about it. Yan got him down. He did get a lot of control time, but O'Malley was very offensive. And we see O'Malley trying to separate the head. Yan does a great job here. And what Yan's going to do is he's going to collect the hips here. We talk about he's going to pull him away from the cage. Boom. Okay, so now Now his shoulders, his back are starting to go here, and his head is stuck. And as this plays on, this is exactly what Jan wants to do. So, okay, is Jan gonna hold this position? O'Malley looks frustrated. He was breathing kind of heavy. But let's watch O'Malley in his offensive jiu-jitsu. So O'Malley is gonna recover guard here. He's gonna control posture. There goes one leg. He stuffs that wrist, and here goes two. And this isn't a bad spot. This is a win for O'Malley. For him to recover the guard like that, for him to control posture, and he's not done there, right? He's not gonna be lazy here against the fence. So we see him controlling the posture and trying to create some space, and then here we go. This is the critical piece. Now he's got that foot on the hip. You see how he's pushing Jan away. We're just gonna let this play. This is the base that he needs. He keeps that base, and then he's up. And right here, we're gonna see him control the wrist, and then he's also gonna do a little arm drag here and reverse this position, which is really slick. Look at this little arm drag right here. Then he's gonna come back with the left hand. So Sugar Show, man, he's got the ability to stop the takedown. He also has the ability to take people down or be active on the ground. And let's look at this. The reason why I put this in here is we got to talk about the Sandhagen fight a little bit, okay? Vera was controlled for the majority of that fight. We know Sandhagen got criticized a lot. We know he had an injury. But I don't think that O'Malley is not confident enough to mix it up and throw in a shot. He throws in this against Peter Yan. And this was, I think, at the end of the first round. Yan throws a kick, and we're just going to watch O'Malley level change right here. And this is a good little shot. He turns the corner. He's on the back, right? He's trying to jump on the back, and Jan's trying to get up. But Sugar Show will throw a takedown in there or two, and don't think that he can't maybe control some top time against Chito Vera. So we know O'Malley's active on the bottom. We know he's got good defense, and we also know, hey, he might even take a shot as well.
Now it's X Factor time. There have been a lot of great fighters in bantamweight history in the UFC. The one with the most knockdowns is that man, Chito Vera. His power carries late into the fight. He's shown that. He knocked out Dominic Cruz in the fourth round. He's been 5 rounds several times. What's your X Factor for Chito?
I mean, you just nailed it, my man. I mean, this guy, you know, he can be behind. He could be losing the fight. He never, ever loses focus, right? He's always dangerous because his power carries. His cardio is so good. He's dangerous. Hands, feet, elbows, knees. This guy's got one shot to finish you, and he's looking for it for 25 minutes. And, you know, this is a big, big thing here going into this fight. Here he's against the great Frankie Edgar, and I know this breaks everybody's heart, but we got to go through it. Here comes the jab, and we talked about Cheeto throwing that jab and getting guys backed up. So there's the jab. Okay, backs Frankie up. We talked about that front kick a little bit, and now here we go. We see the front kick coming up, and we see how slick he is at throwing this front kick, but the power and the precision, right? He knocks Frankie Edgar out with that front kick, and I mean, that was Machida-like, right? And I mean, we're gonna take a look at it. Again, it's the hands that are moving. I want you to watch the hands from Marlon Vera. I mean, it's not even really a jab, but he's sticking his arm out, and look at Frankie Edgar's reaction. Frankie Edgar wasn't even looking at the legs. He was kind of looking at the hands. We talked about the hands earlier. And Edgar doesn't even see this coming. And Cheeto does such a good job of keeping his head down. We see a lot of fighters pop up when they throw the front kick. Cheeto keeps his head down and brings his feet up and his knees up, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. And Cheeto's gonna land this kick flush to the legend Frankie Edgar and put him down. So power in the feet too, not just the hands here from the challenger. So here we go. Here he is against Buren. And again, you don't want to be against the cage against Marlon Vera. So Buren is trying to grab the hands, kind of trying to keep him busy. But man, Cheeto is going to load a big shot right here to the liver, okay? And we see the punch. There's one, okay? And he starts to get Buren to react and drop his elbows. But then he's going to step back and he's going to load one more, just kind of pushes him away. And I mean, the way that he hunts his prey when he gets in close with these power shots, I mean, bang, right? And look at this. He fits it right in there and just, this guy's mean, man. He's a dog, you know? And I mean, he likes to hurt guys in close. He drops Buren, right? Hard liver shot. Cheeto's got the ability to finish guys with one shot all the way through the fight. Like you said, whether he's ahead or he's behind. Here he's against Rob Font, and we're gonna see him explode into this knee. We talked about the hands. We talked about the feet. Now let's talk about the knees. He explodes into this knee, stumbles Font, pushes him back. But just look at the physicality here. Watch the power. Look at the pace of the ground and pound, right? One slip up against Chito Vera, he gets you hurt, man, he will try to put you away. It doesn't matter if it's the third round, fourth round, or 30 seconds left in the fifth round. Sean O'Malley is going to have to be ready. He's going to have to be prepared because that power is going to carry.
Yeah, we just showed a front kick up the middle, we showed a body shot, we showed a knee earlier, the head kick to Dominic Cruz. He can get it done in all different ways. On the Sean O'Malley side, I mean, in one way, the X factor is he's that big of a superstar. But in terms of as a fighter, I'm curious to hear your X factor for what he does inside the octagon.
I don't think Cheeto cares about him being a superstar. When you get a win over somebody, you know, you feel like you can beat him no matter what. And the real thing here is the speed, man. Not only does this guy have length, but he has speed. He's really faster than almost anyone we see him fight. And he is faster than Marlon Vera. So he can land those shots, hands, feet, everything so fast while standing right in front of somebody. So here we see O'Malley. He's southpaw, and we're just going to watch him switch here. And this is just accumulation of him here. So right when he switches, we see now that he's setting this down, and we see he's back in orthodox. Right when he switches, watch this. Right as Jan's trying to get adjusted, here he comes. O'Malley's always striking before the other guy's ready. Oh, you throw your hook? I'm out of there. And again, we see this awesome angle that he creates. I mean, this is what you want, you know? He always seems to be in the alleyways with guys, and they're always a step behind. So Jan misses, and then he slides out. He's out of there. And what happens is guys start guessing, right? They start reacting and guessing. If you're hitting me and I'm always a step behind, I'm going to start guessing. I'm going to start reacting. This is exactly what happens. Let's watch Peter Yan here. He's got his hands up, and O'Malley's got his little distance checker. Now watch, O'Malley's going to give him the feint. Hard movement here from Yan, right? And that's exactly what O'Malley wants. I mean, he didn't even have to expend any energy. It's just the fast twitch. He gets Yan to bite, and then right when Yan comes back up, he's like, no, now it's actually going to come right down the pipe. He resets. Boom, there's the right hand. Again, big swing and a miss here, right? And I mean, this guy, man, he's so athletic, dude. He looks like a basketball player half the time he's out there, just the way that he moves. He's got such fast twitch. Muscle fibers. He's out of the way. And so Yan, again, frustrated, falling short. And then let's watch this. And again, we talked about the basketball reference, and this is just O'Malley, man. He's going to kind of do a little up, down, Harlem Globetrotter move right here. Let's just take a look. Let's just let it play. Up, bop, bop, 1-2. And Yan blocks it, but again, Yan is reacting, right? And the fact that O'Malley has the confidence to be looking up and moving his hands against the scary Peter Yan shows you that he knows he has that speed advantage. And once he's got that speed advantage, he's really locked in. And finally, we put this in here. This is such a big part of the fight. He feints the hands, he gets Yan to react, and he lands this big knee. And we're going to look at it again. But the reason this is such a big deal, this was such a close fight, and this knee damaged Yan badly. And we're going to see right here, this was the knee that cut Yan, right? Caused all that blood, and really, I think, is what turned the tide for the judges because of the damage. We know it was a real controversial fight, guys. We all agree on that. It was very close. But that was the biggest thing, and that was all off of what? The speed and the reactions, getting the hands up. And you see O'Malley creates these opportunities, and let's watch this. Yan knows, okay, I'm guessing here, whenever a guy does this, he's just like, okay, you kind of got me. I'm not ready for what you're doing. I need to cover up, right? Well, you see O'Malley, the whole time it was with the hands. But this time, what? He got him so worried about this, he brings the knee up the middle. But Yan is still blocking. This just shows you the speed and the power and the skill right up the middle. Look at that. That knee comes right up the middle, right through the guard. And that was the huge factor in the fight. So the speed gets people to react at the highest level. O'Malley has shown that he can do that. Here's O'Malley against Thomas Almeida, and we're just going to show a little bit more of his southpaw. Here he is, southpaw. Here's the jab. And this is almost exactly like the scenario that we showed with Aljo earlier. He's going to throw the front kick, right, to create that distance. So here comes the front kick. Now he steps back southpaw. He's already got that lead hand on Almeida, and Almeida is going to where he was. But look at where he is. So now, instead of hitting with that right hand that we showed, that knockout right hand, he crushes Almeida with that, gets him off balance, and he would go on to finish Almeida. And lastly, if you stand in front of him, man, he's just got that one hitter quitter. You know what I mean? And he knows, like, you want to stand in front of me? Okay. And he gives a little feint to Pavia. Boom. Big overhand right. drops him. Sean O'Malley has got speed for days. He's got it in his feet. He's got it in his hands. He's got it everywhere. And if you stand in front of him and you guess wrong, you might really fall.
Well, it's his first bantamweight title defense. So after looking at all the X's and O's, we go to the keys to victory. We'll start with the champion as he looks to keep that belt. He's never been at this level. What are his keys to victory to win in Miami?
The champion has to use distance control. We saw in the first fight, he started off with the kicks. I mean, he was really keeping the distance, moving, showing us the switches. And that fight was in the apex. That octagon is 30% smaller than the octagon that's going to be in Miami. So that's a big deal. He's going to have a lot more room to move around, which means Vera's going to have to really track him. I really look for him to use his footwork, his beautiful movement to kind of keep Vera chasing him, falling in. And I really look for him to keep that distance. To do that, he's going to have to stay off of his back. Look, he lost the fight on his back. I know it was controversial. I know he got hurt, but we showed Vera is a beast on the top. I mean, his elbows, his ground and pound, his pace. Doesn't matter. If he gets you hurt or gets you flashed, he will jump on you and try to finish. So he's got to stay off his back, use that offensive jiu-jitsu, right? Control the posture if he gets hurt. And finally, we got to see the championship cardio. We have never seen O'Malley past 3 rounds. He did look a little bit tired in the Yan fight. He was taking some really deep breaths after the wrestling. Credit to him, he really powered through. I thought that was his championship moment. And man, he came back in the 3rd round like viciously. So he showed the heart, but we just have never seen him in the 4th and 5th. We know Marlon Vera thrives in that situation. We know Marlon Vera gets better. How will the footwork look from O'Malley? What will be the game plan if he cannot get Vera out of there quick? So these are the 3 things that I think he really needs to do to retain that title.
Yeah, Sean O'Malley is the rare case where the first 5-round fight he was scheduled for was his title fight against Aljamain Sterling. Of course, it ended much earlier than that. We'll shift over to Cheeto Vera, who has been 25 minutes, known for his conditioning. What are his keys to victory?
You got it, Brendan. 3 out of the last 4 fights of Chito Vera have went 4 rounds or more. This is what this guy does. He has to push the pace. He's not the fastest guy. He's not the flashiest guy. He's not the best striker, the best wrestler, but his cardio and his work ethic is well known. He puts that grind in, and he just gets stronger and stronger as the fight goes on. He's gonna try to wear out O'Malley. We know O'Malley might get him earlier, but what is O'Malley gonna do if he ends up in the 4th round with this monster walking him down, trying to get him out of there? So Cheeto's got to push the pace right off the bat. He doesn't do that. He usually lets the 1st round kind of go. And I know O'Malley and his team are going to be trying to get him out of there. So he's going to have to get out of the gates quickly. Second of all, he's going to have to close the distance. I mean, O'Malley is a master of distance control, master of creating the angles for his offense, and also getting out of the way, right, of his opponent's shot. So Cheeto's got to get in close, right? Maybe throw those big knees, cover that distance, get to that clinch, try to get some of those elbows in, get some cuts, try to wear O'Malley out. And lastly, if he can get some top control, here's where he won the fight last time. Success leaves clues, okay? I mean, O'Malley was on the ground. We showed his jiu-jitsu. I mean, he's got some defensive jiu-jitsu, but Vera gave him no opportunity. Boom, with that one first big elbow was huge. Rocked him and got him out of there. Vera is very opportunistic when he gets you hurt, especially from top position. So I look for him to try to get some top control and try to put some big damage on the champion.
Well, for a long time coming, we figured it would be an eventuality that Cheeto Vera would fight for an undisputed UFC Bantamweight championship. His moment has arrived. It comes against Sean O'Malley, who's from Phoenix. But man, outside of his home city, I can't think of any better city than Miami to host the Sugar Show. For Sayif Saud, I'm Brendan Fitzgerald. UFC 299's main event, the Sugar Show against Cheeto Vera, should be a great one. Thanks for watching UFC Breakdown.